The woodcutter's choice. The witch had been secretly observing the woodcutter for a long time. He was young, poor, kind, and reserved. He liked the princess and often inquired about her, which the witch knew. Recently, the king announced that the princess was suffering from a strange illness that caused her to lose her sight. Whoever could cure her would become her husband. The entire city searched for a cure. He heard about a witch living in a nearby mountain, known for her powerful magic. The woodcutter, looking hopeful and determined, climbing a rugged mountain path leading to the witch's hut. The witch, without making it difficult for him, quickly found a magical potion. She told the woodcutter, as a price for the potion's effect, he would lose his sight. The woodcutter thought for a while and agreed. The next day, the witch brought the woodcutter to the palace, where a guard took the potion inside. Soon, news came from the guard that the princess's eyesight was restored. She wanted to see who saved her. Thus, the guards led the woodcutter into the palace. Upon seeing him, the princess immediately lost her smile. She thought the woodcutter a vain impostor, believing the potion was someone else's. Despite his explanations, the princess didn't believe him. Feeling deceived and insulted, as punishment, the woodcutter was thrown into jail. In the cell, the woodcutter was particularly despondent, not understanding how things had turned out this way. Just when he fell into despair, a familiar voice suddenly came from nearby. "Now is the time. Hurry!" It was the witch's voice. The woodcutter did not know how the witch had entered the jail, but at that moment he felt saved, so he grabbed the witch's hand and escaped with her. "I must go back to her. She shouldn't have treated me this way. I care so much about her. I always tried to understand her. Maybe you shouldn't be so persistent." The witch hesitated. Persistent people tend to get hurt more, suffer avoidable wounds. The woodcutter fell silent, thinking perhaps the witch was right. The witch took the woodcutter back to her home, planning to cure his eyes. During this time, she confessed her love to the woodcutter, explaining that her secret love for him was why she risked everything to save him. He wondered, what is love really? Should he accept the witch's love? However, the woodcutter eventually made his choice. Even after his sight was restored, he chose to stay with the witch, who felt very happy. One day, the witch told the woodcutter she was going to visit a friend and would be back late. The woodcutter hugged her, saying it was a farewell hug. The witch finally met her friend, her bestie, the princess of the kingdom. It turned out everything was their plan. The witch secretly loved the woodcutter, who cared for the princess. As the witch's best friend, the princess concocted this plan, thinking it would win the woodcutter over. Initially, the witch worried it was deceitful, but it worked, and the woodcutter stayed with her. When she was ready to go home, she realized it was already the early morning of the next day. However, upon returning home, she found her house and all the valuable potions were robbed, and the woodcutter was the only thing left for her were a few words on the wall. "I've taken the stuff. Sorry for deceiving you. You shouldn't have been so persistent. Like you said, persistent people tend to suffer more. And don't ask whom I chose to love. I choose money."